Now, most people come to Nevada for the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas, but this state has a whole lot more to offer than just slot machines and showgirls. Beyond the neon lights and bustling casinos lies a rich tapestry of history, woven with tales of pioneers, prospectors, and, yes, even ghosts. From the windswept deserts to the rugged mountains, Nevada's landscape is as diverse as its history. Each town, each building has a story to tell, and sometimes those stories involve a little something extra, something that goes bump in the night. Now, I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill creaky floorboards and flickering lights kind of hauntings. No, sir. Nevada's ghosts are a different breed altogether. They're the spirits of miners who met their end in the depths of the earth, their souls forever bound to the silver they sought. They're the ghosts of cowboys and gunslingers, their spirits replaying those final showdowns in dusty saloons. And then there are the ghosts of those who simply couldn't bear to leave this beautiful wild state, their spirits lingering in the places they love most. So, if you're feeling brave, come along with me as we delve into the haunted history of Nevada for the last time. Welcome to Screamville. The El Cortez Hotel and Casino, located in downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, is one of the city's most iconic landmarks. Its rich history, dating back to the 1940s, intertwines with the early development of Las Vegas as a gambling and entertainment hub. Over the years, stories of hauntings have contributed to its mystique. Opened in 1941, the El Cortez was built by Marion Hicks and J.C. Grayson for $245,000. The hotel quickly became a popular destination due to its luxurious accommodations and prime location in downtown Las Vegas. It was the first major resort casino in downtown, setting the stage for the area's growth. In 1945, the hotel was purchased by famous mobsters Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky, Gus Greenbaum, and Moe Sedway for $600,000. These mob figures were instrumental in shaping Las Vegas into a gambling haven. El Cortez served as a training ground for their later ventures, including the Flamingo Hotel. By the late 1940s, Siegel and his associates sold the property back to its original owners, claiming they had bigger fish to fry. Over the decades, the El Cortez underwent multiple renovations to maintain its charm and functionality, including the addition of more hotel rooms and a casino expansion. The property retained its vintage Vegas aesthetic, making it a nostalgic spot for tourists and locals alike. The El Cortez remains the longest continuously operating casino in Las Vegas. It was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2013 for its significance in the development of downtown Las Vegas. The hotel has preserved its classic charm, even while adapting to modern tastes. Several reports of ghostly activity at the El Cortez have given it a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Las Vegas. The mob ties of the El Cortez have led to legends of unsavory activities occurring on the premises, including possible murders or disappearances linked to organized crime. Guests and staff have reported sightings of shadowy figures in old-fashioned clothing, believed to be spirits of former mobsters or their victims. Several guests have experienced strange occurrences in their rooms, such as lights flickering, unexplained cold spots, and hearing disembodied voices. Room 712 is particularly infamous for guests reporting feelings of being watched and objects moving on their own. Dealers and patrons have claimed to see ghostly apparitions near the gaming tables, particularly late at night when the casino is quieter. A spectral figure, often described as a man in a suit from the 1940s, has been spotted walking through the casino floor and disappearing into thin air. The ashes in the basement of the El Cortez Hotel are one of the most intriguing and eerie aspects of its haunted reputation. Over the years, employees and paranormal investigators have reported strange occurrences tied to this peculiar detail. It is believed that human ashes are stored in the basement of the El Cortez. These ashes are thought to belong to individuals whose remains were either kept as memorials or accidentally left behind by their loved ones. In some cases, ashes may have been left intentionally as a symbolic gesture, given the casino's significance to those who frequented it or had strong ties to Las Vegas. The exact origins of the ashes are unclear, but their presence has fueled speculation that they contribute to the paranormal energy in the basement. The basement has long been considered one of the most haunted parts of the El Cortez, with the ashes being a focal point of the supernatural stories. Some believe the ashes may belong to loyal patrons or employees who had a deep connection to the El Cortez. It's not uncommon for fans of Las Vegas culture to request their remains be kept in locations they loved. Given the hotel's history with organized crime, there's speculation that the ashes could belong to individuals with ties to the mob. Some suggest they might be victims of mob activity, though no concrete evidence supports this claim. The ashes may belong to someone whose family or friends left them behind accidentally or intentionally. It's not unusual for cremains to be misplaced, especially in a transient city like Las Vegas. Another theory is that the ashes were placed there as a symbolic gesture, perhaps as part of a ritual or personal tribute to the hotel and its significance. Employees working near the ashes have reported sudden drops in temperature, even when the surrounding area remains warm. People claim to hear whispers or faint conversations, as if someone unseen is nearby. Dark shapes have been spotted moving through the basement, vanishing when approached. Workers and visitors often describe a heavy or oppressive feeling when near the ashes, as though they are being watched. Objects have reportedly been moved or knocked over without explanation. On June 20th, 1947, Bugsy Siegel was infamously gunned down in Beverly Hills, California, at the home of his girlfriend, Virginia Hill. The murder remains unsolved, though many believe it was orchestrated by the mob due to financial discrepancies and Siegel's handling of the Flamingo Hotel project. Before his death, Siegel reportedly anticipated that his days might be numbered. According to legend, he gave one of his trusted bodyguards a large sum of cash and instructed him to safeguard it and use it wisely if anything happened to him. After Siegel's death, the bodyguard is said to have honored Bugsy's wishes, handling the cash exactly as directed. The legend claims this act of loyalty impressed Siegel's mob associates, who controlled various Las Vegas operations, including the El Cortez, which Bugsy had co-owned in the 1940s. As a reward for his unwavering loyalty, the bodyguard was supposedly allowed to live at the El Cortez for the rest of his life. He was provided a room and possibly a small stipend, ensuring his needs were met until his death. Following his death, many believe that the bodyguard's spirit stayed behind at the El Cortez. His strong ties to Bugsy, the mob, and the hotel are thought to be the reason for his lingering presence. Guests and employees report seeing a tall, stoic man in old-fashioned clothing, believed to be the ghost of the bodyguard, walking the halls or standing watch in the casino. The most recent incident was in September 2021, a tragic night resulting in the death of security guard Randall Lyons, age 67. While responding to a disturbance, Lyons encountered Pedro Lizano, 35, who shoved him during an altercation. Lyons fell, hitting his head on the pavement, which led to severe injuries and his death months later in February 2022 due to complications. Lizano was arrested, faced charges of murder, and was later sentenced following a plea deal. The hotel's mysterious past, coupled with tragic events like deaths on the property, fuels the belief that restless spirits remain. Whether fact or legend, the El Cortez endures as a fascinating piece of Las Vegas's haunted lore. When the MGM Grand opened in 1973, it symbolized the enduring legacy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. However, the grandeur of this achievement was marred by a devastating fire in 1980, leaving not only a tragic mark on the hotel's history, but also restless spirits said to wander its halls. The hotel's name paid homage to MGM's 1932 film, Grand Hotel. After the fire, Nevada instituted new fire safety regulations to prevent similar tragedies in public buildings. Despite the catastrophe, the MGM Grand, later Bally's, hosted Jubilee, Las Vegas's longest-running show, for 35 years. Reports of ghostly activity have persisted since the 1980 fire. A woman once called the front desk in terror, claiming to see a pair of disembodied feet floating in her room. Guests have described shadowy figures appearing and vanishing in hallways, and some have seen phantom bodies lying on beds, thought to be echoes of those who perished from the toxic smoke. Even staff members avoid a particular service elevator where several employees tragically lost their lives. Witnesses have also described seeing groups of transparent figures roaming the casino floor, only to disappear moments later. Some believe that a few spirits, enraged by their untimely deaths, have migrated to the new MGM Grand. On a seemingly normal day in November 1980, the MGM Grand was bustling with activity. Guests were enjoying the casino, dining at restaurants, or waking up in their rooms, unaware of the disaster about to unfold. A small spark ignited within the walls of the deli restaurant near the casino, quickly feeding on the highly flammable materials used throughout the hotel. The fire spread with alarming speed, 15 feet per second, before erupting into a fireball that scorched the casino and blew out the entrance windows. While firefighters contained the flames to the lower floors, a greater threat spread throughout the resort. Thick, toxic smoke. The hotel lacked an alarm system, and no safeguards were in place to prevent smoke from infiltrating the air ducts and stairwells. Tragically, 85 people lost their lives, with most succumbing to the toxic fumes. Over 500 others were injured. The absence of a sprinkler system, along with the use of highly flammable materials, contributed to the staggering loss of life. The fire prompted a major overhaul of Nevada's fire safety codes, including stricter requirements for sprinkler systems and smoke detection. Families of the victims were compensated with settlements totaling between $70 and $220 million. In 1971, MGM acquired land to construct a massive resort, inspired by their film Grand Hotel. The MGM Grand opened in 1973, with Dean Martin hosting the grand ceremony. After the fire, the resort underwent extensive repairs, reopening 8 months later. The following years brought new challenges. In 1986, the property was sold to Bally Manufacturing and renamed Bally's. That same year, a man planted a pipe bomb in the sportsbook area and demanded $200,000. Authorities safely detonated the device, which caused only minor damage. Today, Bally's remains a popular destination on the Las Vegas Strip. Though no longer the largest resort, it continues to attract visitors with its vibrant atmosphere and rich history. While the tragic fire is a dark chapter in its story, Bally's stands as a testament to resilience and reinvention amidst the ever-evolving neon glow of Las Vegas. Ever imagined sipping a drink in a place where history and the supernatural intertwine? The Pioneer Saloon's Ghost Town Bar in Good Springs, Nevada, offers just that experience. Established in 1913, this historic bar is more than just a watering hole. It's a hotspot for Wild West tales and ghostly encounters. The Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada, holds a special place in pop culture as the symbolic starting point of Fallout New Vegas, a beloved video game set in a post-apocalyptic version of the American Southwest. In the game, Good Springs serves as the player's first stop after surviving a near-fatal encounter, making the town, and by extension, the Pioneer Saloon, a hub of storytelling and adventure for fans of the franchise. The Pioneer Saloon and its surroundings inspired the in-game town of Good Springs, giving players a glimpse of Nevada's history and culture through a post-apocalyptic lens. In Fallout, New Vegas, Good Springs Central Saloon is where players meet important characters, including Sunny Smiles and Trudy, who guide them on their journey. Though not an exact replica, the in-game saloon captures the rustic charm and communal spirit of the Pioneer Saloon. The saloon becomes a strategic point for players to gather supplies, learn the mechanics of survival, and even take sides in a pivotal conflict between the townsfolk and invading powder gangers. Step into this iconic saloon and you'll feel the whispers of the past. Each corner has a story, some steeped in tragedy and mystery. In the poker room, a gambler caught cheating met a grim end here, and his restless spirit is said to linger. Visitors often report cold drafts and an unsettling sense of being watched. At the main bar, disembodied voices and fleeting, shadowy figures are common sightings, with some patrons claiming to feel an unseen hand on their shoulder. At the women's restroom, a surprising hub for paranormal activity, with whispers and apparitions in the mirrors reported by numerous visitors. A ghostly figure, resembling an old bartender, occasionally appears behind the counter, serving drinks before vanishing. Late-night visitors frequently hear footsteps pacing the empty bar, believed to be spirits of past patrons who never truly left. The saloon has drawn countless ghost hunters who have uncovered eerie evidence. Ghostly voices recorded calling out investigators' names. Sudden temperature drops, accompanied by feelings of unease. Strange lights floating through the saloon, captured in photos and videos. Whether you're a believer in the paranormal or simply a fan of history, this bar offers an unparalleled experience. The Pioneer Saloon immerses visitors in Nevada's past with its vintage decor and Wild West ambiance. From ghost tours to first-hand encounters, it's a must-visit for thrill seekers. Live music, storytelling, and other events keep the spirit of the saloon alive, both figuratively and literally. A woman, whose name is unknown in most accounts, was said to have been beaten to death or severely injured following an altercation. The motive behind the attack remains unclear, though some versions suggest it could have been fueled by jealousy or a heated argument gone too far. The attacker's identity and the exact circumstances surrounding the event are shrouded in mystery, adding to the saloon's eerie allure. Visitors and staff at the Pioneer Saloon claim the woman's spirit still lingers in the building, unable to move on from the violence she endured. Paranormal enthusiasts often point to these ghostly encounters as evidence of her presence. Guests have reported hearing faint sobbing or anguished cries echoing through the saloon, especially during quiet hours. Some patrons have described feeling an unseen hand brush against them, particularly near the area where the attack is believed to have occurred. A ghostly female figure has occasionally been spotted, often appearing distressed or wandering aimlessly. The story of the little boy who drowned in a well near the Pioneer Saloon is one of the more tragic and lesser-known tales tied to the saloon's haunted lore. While specific details are scarce and often mixed with local legends, the incident adds to the saloon's reputation as a place where history and tragedy intertwine. Another tale speaks of a young boy who accidentally fell into a well close to the saloon during the early 1900s, when Good Springs was a bustling mining town. The well was situated near the Pioneer Saloon, serving as a vital water source for the saloon and nearby buildings. The boy, whose name is lost to history, was playing near the well when he slipped and fell. Despite efforts to save him, the child tragically drowned before help could arrive. The death left a deep impact on the small mining community, as tragedies involving children were particularly heart-wrenching in such tight-knit settlements. Many visitors and staff at the Pioneer Saloon believe the spirit of the young boy lingers near the well and around the saloon. Paranormal enthusiasts have shared stories of unexplained occurrences believed to be linked to the boy's presence. Some have reported hearing the sound of a child laughing or running, despite no children being present. Items in the saloon, such as glasses or small objects, are occasionally moved or knocked over, as if by an unseen playful hand. Visitors near the well's original location have experienced sudden drops in temperature, often interpreted as the boy's spirit making itself known. The well itself has long since been filled in, but its tragic history remains part of the Pioneer Saloon's lore. Some paranormal investigators claim the area still retains a strong energy, which they attribute to the emotional resonance of the incident. The saloon carries a poignant piece of Hollywood history tied to legendary actor Clark Gable and his wife, actress Carole Lombard. The story is a mix of love, tragedy, and the saloon's role as a haven during a heartbreaking time. In January 1942, Carole Lombard was returning to California after a war bond tour in Indiana. Her flight, TWA Flight 3, tragically crashed into Mount Potosi near Las Vegas, killing all 22 passengers on board. The crash devastated Clark Gable, who was deeply in love with Lombard. She was his third wife, and their romance was considered one of Hollywood's great love stories. When news of the crash reached Gable, he rushed to Nevada to be as close as possible to the recovery efforts. During this difficult time, he spent hours at the Pioneer Saloon, waiting for updates on Lombard and the crash investigation. Gable reportedly sat in the saloon, chain-smoking and sipping whiskey, grappling with the immense grief and shock of losing his beloved wife. The saloon's rustic, quiet atmosphere provided him with a private refuge away from the prying eyes of the media and public. The saloon has preserved Gable's connection to this tragic event. Inside, a table with a plaque marks the spot where he sat during those somber hours. Visitors can see it as a tribute to his love for Lombard and the heartbreak he endured. Some say that the tragedy left an imprint on the Pioneer Saloon. There have been claims of ghostly activity linked to the incident, with some visitors reporting sensations of sorrow or seeing fleeting apparitions. Whether true or not, the story adds to the saloon's mystique as a place where history and emotion converge. The tale of the bartender who tragically took his own life at the Pioneer Saloon is one of its most chilling and enduring stories. The incident is steeped in sadness, mystery, and paranormal lore. The bartender, whose name is sometimes given as Mr. Butterfield, worked at the Pioneer Saloon during its early days in the 1900s. Struggling with personal demons, he reportedly became overwhelmed by despair. One fateful night, right in front of customers, he took his own life. While the exact reasons for this remain unknown, local legends suggest financial troubles, heartbreak, or a combination of both. Some versions of the story claim he left behind a note, but its contents were never revealed or have been lost to time. The tragic circumstances of his death have led many to believe his spirit lingers in the saloon. Staff and patrons have reported hearing a male voice calling out from the bar area when no one else is present. Some believe it's him trying to communicate. Bartenders have shared accounts of glasses being moved or knocked over on their own, as though an unseen hand were still tending to the bar. Unexplained cold drafts are often felt near the area where he worked and died. One of the most unusual and eerie aspects of the story is how Mr. Butterfield's name has been reported to appear on the saloon's old menu. Staff have claimed to discover his name inexplicably written or printed on menus, despite no one recalling adding it. These occurrences are often attributed to his restless spirit, making his presence known. Visitors today often raise a glass in his honor, remembering the man who served the saloon in life and, perhaps, continues to linger in its shadowy corners in death. At Pioneer Saloon's Ghost Town Bar, the past and present collide in a uniquely eerie and enchanting way. Whether you're there to soak in the history or chase ghostly adventures, it's a destination like no other. Grab a drink, listen to the tales, and maybe even encounter one of the saloon's spectral residents. Are you ready for a hauntingly good time? The McKay Mansion, located in Virginia City, Nevada, is a historic home that plays a significant role in the town's rich mining history. Built in 1859 during the height of the Comstock Lode Silver Rush, it was originally the offices of the Gould and Curry Mining Company. Later, it became the residence of John McKay, one of the Silver Kings who made a fortune in the mining industry. The McKay Mansion was built in 1859 by George Hearst, a prominent mining magnate and businessman. Hearst, who later became a U.S. Senator and the father of newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst, constructed the mansion during the early days of Virginia City's rise as a mining hub during the Comstock Lode silver boom. Originally, the building served as the office and residence for George Hearst, while he managed his mining enterprises in the area. It was later converted into a lavish home and eventually purchased by John McKay, another mining magnate, who became its most famous resident. The mansion reflects the style of a stately, mid-19th century home, blending luxury with practicality. It was built to showcase wealth and provide comfortable living accommodations for Hearst and later Mr. McKay. John McKay, one of the Silver Kings of the Comstock Lode, acquired the mansion after amassing his fortune through mining. McKay, known for his modest beginnings and immense success, lived in the mansion with his family, cementing its legacy as the McKay Mansion. The mansion is renowned for its paranormal activity, often attributed to its long history and the many lives connected to it. Here are the reasons and the reported hauntings. The Comstock Lode era was fraught with danger and death. Many workers in the mines met untimely ends, and their spirits are believed to linger in locations tied to this industry. Though records vary, it's believed some people died in the home, including children. These tragedies contribute to the belief that spirits remain in the mansion. According to the legend, two men targeted the mansion during the height of the Comstock Lode silver boom. They believed the mansion's vault contained a significant amount of silver or cash associated with John McKay's mining operations. The men reportedly broke into the mansion under the cover of darkness, aiming to access the secure vault. The vault itself was a focal point of security, as it stored mining profits and critical documents. During the robbery, the men were either caught in the act by guards or encountered resistance from the mansion's occupants. In the ensuing confrontation, both would-be robbers were killed. Some versions suggest they were shot on the spot. It's believed that the spirits of these men linger in the mansion due to the violent and abrupt end they met. Shadows or fleeting figures are often seen near the area of the vault. Some visitors and staff claim to feel an oppressive or uneasy presence there. Heavy footfalls have been reported in the hallways and near the vault, believed to be the spirits of the robbers retracing their steps. Visitors near the vault frequently report sudden drops in temperature, which many attribute to lingering paranormal activity. Some ghost hunters have reported that questions about the robbery, when asked during investigations, often elicit spikes in electromagnetic activity or audible knocks, as if the spirits respond to their connection to the vault. Harriet is one of the most well-known spirits associated with the mansion, believed to be a former maid who worked there during John McKay's residence. Her presence adds to the mansion's haunted reputation, and she is considered one of the more benevolent and active ghosts. Harriet was a maid who reportedly worked diligently to maintain the mansion during the late 19th century, a time when the mansion was at its peak of activity. She was known to be loyal and hardworking. While the exact details of her death are unclear, some accounts suggest she passed away within the mansion due to illness or an accident. Her deep connection to the home, forged through years of dedicated service, is believed to explain why her spirit lingers. Harriet is often seen in her maid's uniform, appearing to go about her duties. Witnesses describe her as a solid figure at first glance, only to realize she is a ghost when she vanishes suddenly. Objects such as brooms or cleaning supplies are found moved or rearranged, as if Harriet is still tending to the house. Some have reported hearing the faint rustle of fabric, believed to be her moving through the halls. Harriet's spirit is said to enjoy the company of guests. People have reported feeling a comforting presence, hearing soft footsteps, or even catching glimpses of her shadow in areas she frequented during life. Harriet is often seen or sensed in the bathroom area of the mansion. Some visitors have reported the sound of water running or faucets turning on and off without explanation, attributed to her lingering spirit. Harriet's ghost is sometimes thought to play gentle tricks on guests by moving small objects or causing faint tapping sounds as though she's still part of the daily routine. The McKay mansion is also reputed to be home to the spirits of two children who are among the most frequently reported ghostly presences in the house. These childlike apparitions have been encountered by visitors and staff, adding to the mansion's eerie yet captivating reputation. Their identities are not definitively known, but they are believed to be tied to the mansion's history or Virginia City's tumultuous past. The mansion was a prominent home during the Comstock Lode boom and could have housed or entertained many families over the years. The children might have been part of John McKay's family or related to other residents or workers who spent time in the mansion. Given Virginia City's hazardous conditions during the mining boom, some speculate the children may have died in accidents or from illnesses that were common at the time. There are no concrete records of specific children dying at the mansion, which has led to speculation that their spirits could be tied to the land or drawn to the energy of the house. Visitors and staff have heard the sound of children laughing, giggling, or running, even when no children are present in the building. Faint whispers or conversations between two children are sometimes reported, often emanating from empty rooms. Toys or small objects left in the mansion are occasionally moved or found in unusual places, as though the children are playing with them. Some paranormal investigators have claimed that balls or marbles left as trigger objects during investigations have been moved or rolled seemingly on their own. People report feeling a light tug on their clothing or the sensation of a small hand touching them, often near the stairs or in the bedrooms. Shadowy, childlike figures have been seen darting down hallways or peeking around corners, disappearing when approached. The creepy doll room in the McKay mansion is one of the eeriest and most talked about locations in the house, intensifying its haunted reputation. This room, filled with antique dolls, creates an unsettling atmosphere and has become a focal point for visitors and paranormal investigators alike. Many believe that the dolls themselves are conduits for paranormal activity or are linked to the spirits haunting the mansion. The room is lined with shelves and displays of antique dolls, many dating back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. These dolls, with their porcelain faces and glassy eyes, have an uncanny quality that can be unnerving even in broad daylight. Some of the dolls show signs of age, with faded paint, cracks, or missing features, which adds to the room's creepy aesthetic. The dolls were likely collected as heirlooms or mementos of the era when the mansion was active. While the exact reason for keeping them on display isn't entirely clear, they have become a distinctive feature of the mansion's haunted tours. The doll room is a hotspot for unexplained phenomena. Visitors and investigators have reported numerous eerie experiences. Some claim to have seen dolls shift positions between visits or even turn their heads slightly as though watching them. On rare occasions, dolls have reportedly fallen or been found in places where they weren't initially placed. Many people feel as if the doll's eyes follow them around the room, creating an intense sense of being watched. Sounds such as faint giggles, whispers, or even the tapping of tiny footsteps have been reported, with no source found. Some visitors have claimed to hear a child's voice emanating from the room, sometimes calling out names or laughing softly. Sudden intense cold spots are frequently felt in the room, often near specific dolls. Even those who don't believe in the paranormal often report an overwhelming sense of discomfort or dread in the doll room. Some have described the sensation as though the dolls are guarding the space or judging the visitors. Paranormal investigators using spirit boxes or EMF detectors often report spikes in activity when asking questions about or addressing the dolls. Some claim that John McKay himself haunts the mansion. People have reported hearing footsteps, the sound of heavy boots, and the creak of floorboards, particularly near his former office. A woman in period clothing has been seen wandering through the house. She is often described as elegant and peaceful, though mysterious. Shadowy figures and the sound of clinking silverware have been reported in the dining area, suggesting ghostly gatherings. Staff and visitors report hearing voices, whispers, and unexplained noises throughout the property. Doors are said to open and close on their own, and objects sometimes move without explanation. The mansion has gained fame as a hotspot for ghost enthusiasts and paranormal investigators. The popular TV show Ghost Adventures once featured the mansion, highlighting its haunted history and conducting an investigation into its supernatural phenomena. Visitors, including Johnny Depp, who stayed at the mansion while filming Dead Man, reportedly experienced paranormal activity. Depp allegedly saw a ghost during his stay. The mansion is steeped in history, which many believe leaves an imprint, particularly from the intense emotions and events of the mining era. Many of the reported sightings and noises could be residual hauntings, echoes of the past that replay without interaction with the living. Others believe the spirits at McKay Mansion are aware of the living, as evidenced by reports of interactions and reactions to visitors. The mansion is now a museum open to the public. It preserves much of its original decor and artifacts from the mining era, providing visitors with a glimpse into the past. Ghost tours and paranormal investigations are regularly conducted, making it a popular destination for history buffs and ghost hunters alike. If you enjoyed this 4-part journey of Nevada, please be sure to subscribe for more. And as always, thanks for watching.